Hello, friends. Your old Uncle Andy here, the UC Panda himself, coming to you on Friday, October 4th. We're a little ways out from kickoff in some of the Friday night football games in college. Hopefully, some of you are going to enjoy some Friday night lights tonight, some good old high school football. You can't beat that. But we're here to give you hopefully some winning college and NFL picks for the weekend. Um, did want to mention it's important to go ahead and follow us on Twitter. I gave out it's NHL puck drop. They're overseas. The Devils and the Sabres are playing their first couple of games. I did give out a prop in the Devils Sabres game, the third period over, which hit. It was pretty juicy and chalky, so you would need to combine it with something, which I did at the onset of a new $5 10-day ladder challenge. So the journey of 10 ladder steps starts with the first parlay. So we're on the bottom rung and we're going up from here. So we'll get started first with a review of how we did last week. We did okay. We risked 44.5 units. We won 45.84 units. That's a profit of a little over a unit. So we came out ahead. I am going to try not to be tempted by the book this weekend. Most of those losses occurred, not things that I had pre-planned out, but those teasers and the free bet tokens and the boosts and things that the books were offering that sort of reeled me in, but it was still a profitable weekend. Like I said, go ahead and hit us up on our Twitter. We posted some good winning picks this week that we didn't make videos about. We had a good Major League Baseball winner. I think it was Tuesday night. So it's important to follow us over there. I don't have time to make a video all the time. So that puts us at 39.12 units to the good this year. So if you're betting $5 a unit with us, you're up $200. If you're betting $20 a unit, that's too much math. You're doing pretty good. So we'll get started here. Last Sunday when the lines dropped, I sat here and watched the Bengals and was doing all my handicapping. In fact, I had all my handicapping done for my college games on Sunday afternoon. I was early to the party on Army, and it worked out really well for me. I got Army at -8.5, and now it is at -12.5 in some books, -10.5 in other spots. So Army's been really good to us. I'm going to keep on touting them like a recruiting sergeant until it's a strategy that backfires. But Army is at a woeful Tulsa team this week, and I think Army keeps it going. I was early to the party on Iowa, Ohio State. I got them at over 44.5. And now I believe it's at over 45.5. So we got the better of the number there by 1 point, but I think those points add up and they matter. And I think this was a good bet because Ohio State is 3-1 to the over this year. Iowa is 4-0 to the over, if you can believe that. Iowa, last year they might only score literally 12 points a game, and here they are, they're 4-0 to the over. And indeed, these last four meetings between these two teams have gone over. So I'm going to go ahead and take the over. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't think I will be wrong. I don't think Iowa's defense is what it was. Ohio State is going to continue to put up points. So I say over all the way. I did get in on Duke +8 Sunday when it dropped. I did not get the best end of that number. That number's up to 9 now. I did get the under 54.5, and I did get the best of that number. The under is now moved to 53.5. So sometimes when you're early to the party, it pays off. Sometimes it doesn't. I do like that Army play, though. I did that with Army a few weeks ago, and it worked out. So I'm feeling good about it. We're going to go back to the well of the Juice Reducer money line parlay. We're going to go ahead and take TCU, Oregon, Penn State, UConn, Ohio State. It's a -210, so you can even bet that by itself, I guess, if you wanted. It has an implied probability of hitting at 68%. So I feel good about all this. TCU plays tonight here in a little while. All these teams are almost 20-point favorites. I say roll with it. If something crazy happens, it's betting. We'll deal with it. It's going to happen some point this year. One of these juice reducer parlays is going to go down because of something crazy that happens. A 20-point favorite losing at home, some MAC school. Ask Notre Dame. So that's why they call it gambling, I guess. So we're going to take the previously mentioned heavy money line favorites in college, and we're going to pair them with these plays. We went ahead and took Navy -4.5. That's a plus money payout. We're going to go ahead and take Toledo. Toledo is hosting Miami. I think Miami kind of got caught in a look-ahead spot last week against UMass and didn't really do all that well, but they won the game for us. But I'm going to go ahead and take Toledo on this thing, though. I think at home, I think Toledo's the better team. Miami's got some injuries and whatnot. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead definitely and take the Rockets. We'll do the over in UNC Pitt, and I think this is a good bet. This year, Pitt is 3-1 to the over. The teams are combined 6-3 to the over this year between the two teams. And it's important to note Pittsburgh is coming off a bye week. And going back to 2022, at the beginning of that season, Pitt is 5-0 to the over coming off of a bye week. So I teased the number down from 64 down to 56.5, and I think it should hit. UNC has a horrible defense. So I say let's roll with the over. You'd probably be okay to have just kept the over where it was as a single at 64 points. I don't think you're going to go wrong there either. Tulane, I think, is a real good bet this week. I think you can go ahead and lay the whole 14 if you wanted, but I went ahead and teased it down. Tulane this year is 4-1 ATS against a horrible UAB outfit, so I like them. I like South Alabama at home against Arkansas State. South Alabama has beaten Arkansas State 3 straight on the money line, so we'll keep rolling with them here. This Michigan-Washington under, I liked it a lot more at the beginning of the week, because this is how you have to watch these broadcasters, ESPN and whatnot. They actually run college football. This was originally supposed to be a noon kickoff out in Washington. So that's what we call a body clock game. If you're coming from Michigan going out to Washington and you're playing a noon football game there, your body's all messed up. So I would much prefer this game to have kicked off at noon their time, but it's not. So I still like the under in this game, though. Washington is 5-0 to the under this year, and we're going to have a same game parlay on them a little bit later, but I'll go ahead and take the under on this. I think it's going to be a defensive struggle. We took Arizona State on the money line. They're 3-1 this year against the spread, so we just need them on just to win the game against a Kansas outfit that is 0-5 ATS. Really bad times there in Kansas. We went ahead and took the college heavy favorites and combined them with some NFL plays. I like the NFL card this week. I think it's for the first time this year. I really liked it. We'll go ahead and go with Vikings. We'll take the Commanders over a bad Browns team. Sorry to all my Cincinnati people here. I will take the Ravens. I do really like the Bears this week as well. I don't think Carolina, I mean, they're better with Andy Dalton than not having Andy Dalton, but they're still going on the road, and I just don't see how they're going to beat the Bears. I like KC just to win the game on Monday night. If that number gets to 7, go ahead and take the Saints in the 7, I think. Let alone 7.5, tease it up if you want. But I do like Chiefs money line. On the Packers and the Rams, they are a combined 6-2 to the over this year. Green Bay, going back a couple of years, is 9-3 on away overs. So I'll go ahead and take them. I teased it down to 43.5. In the Cards and the Niners, going back to the 2022 season, the Cardinals are 8-5 to the over in divisional games, and they are 15-9-2 to the over coming off a loss. So I like that. Same thing with the Niners. Going back to the 2022 season, they're 10-4 to the over in divisional games, 14-9 at home to the over, and 23-18 overall to the over since 2022. So I will take that. The last 5 meetings between these two teams have also gone over. So all the trends are pointing for this thing to be an over, and we'll roll with it. Did have a nice no sweat parlay from MJM. We're going to go ahead and put a couple of units on it. Ravens, Commanders, Niners, Chiefs. That same game parlay I mentioned, we're going to take Washington in the first quarter money line. So if it's a tie, it still, doesn't torpedo the bet. And I do like the under 7.5 in the first quarter. That's a pretty good payout at plus 264. Michigan sometimes starts a little slow on offense, and they're going to be out of their element at a West Coast game. So I say go ahead and let's just take the first quarter under, and maybe Washington goes in there and gets a field goal or something. It's a 3-0 score at the end of the first quarter. I like that. Last week we'd mentioned we had all these no sweat bet tokens. So what that means is last week I lost 11 units on some of these no sweats. So now I've got a free roll for 11 units. And we're going to go ahead and take a conservative parlay with some of these heavy favorites, Navy, Army, Penn State, TCU, the Buckeyes, Oregon, and hopefully get our money back. So this is, I don't have a problem go ahead and putting 5 units on some of these plays if it's a no sweat bet and I get it back. I think we're all smart enough. We can come up with a good bet to at least get our money back and break even on these things. So now, speaking of lessons, I'm going to come up with a series of betting lessons for some of you folks out there are new to this sports betting thing, this racket, and you want to get in on the action. A lot of you don't understand. What does it mean a minus 110? And when I say it's juicy, when I say it's chalky, when I say we want to fade the trendy dog this week, what's he talking about? Is this witchcraft? What's going on here? So we're going to go ahead and come up with a series of betting lessons and try to make this a little easier to understand for some of you so you can get in on the action, have some fun. That doesn't mean bet the grocery money. Bet what you can afford to lose. So let's have a good weekend. It's fall. It's Friday night. I'm heading over to Jungle Jim's International Market here shortly to fill up my growler and get my mind right. So don't you drink too much either. But keep following us on social media. Keep following us, especially on Twitter. I'm probably more active on there. Definitely in the morning, we'll get up and have some plays for everybody. Who knows, I might make another video, but I'll definitely post any plays I have to the Twitter machine. So everybody, let's have a good night. And if you tail us to the window, we will cash tickets together. Have a good night.